Hi everyone, in this video I want to share something I'm really excited about. I want to show how I use NotebookLM, which is the AI tool from Google, to turn one of my academic papers into a professional video summary. This paper is one of my most cited works, published back in 2017 in the Journal of Computer Information Systems. And honestly, the results I got with NotebookLM really surprised me. So first, I want to give you some context. So here's what my paper was about. So this study explored the effectiveness of different search engine optimization strategies, things like link building, social sharing, and how they impact website traffic and revenue. So we ran an 18 months experiment on 3 similar websites. One just focused on content, another added proactive link building, and the third one used a social media campaign. And the results, both link building and social sharing help, but in different ways. So let me quickly introduce NotebookLM. NotebookLM is a free AI-powered research and writing assistant from Google. What makes it special is that it works only with the sources you provide, like your documents, PDFs, Google Docs, website links, YouTube transcripts, and even audio files. That way, it functions as kind of a personalized AI expert, giving you summaries, answers, or creative outputs that are always grounded in your material, with citations in the link back to the originals. Some of its key features are like you can upload multiple types of sources in one centralized knowledge base. Unlike general chatbots, its responses are tied directly to your sources, so the accuracy is much higher. You can create summaries, study guides, timelines, mind maps, and more. And it can even generate a podcast style conversation that explains your material in an easy to digest way. And of course, you can ask questions and actually converse with your sources to get insights or creative ideas. So for me, it is the ability that I can transform dense research into engaging and accurate formats like the videos you will see in a moment. So to create my video from my published paper, I would first create a new notebook from here or create new, and then I'll upload my sources, which is my PDF paper. So once I imported my paper, NotebookLM automatically creates a summary out from it. So I can generate audio, kind of like a AI podcast based on this paper. I can generate a mind map. I can generate a briefing document or study guide or create an FAQ or timeline. And I can generate explain the video and just with one click. And let's take a look at what this video look like. Just a heads up, this video is going to be a little bit more than 6 minutes long, but if you're interested in learning about SEO, you can watch it because the content is still pretty relevant today and the work is cited often. And if you just want to see my evaluation at the end of the video, you can feel free to fast forward or skip through.
All right, let's just jump right in. So, picture this. You've poured your heart, your soul, everything into building this amazing website. The content is fantastic. You finally hit that publish button. You wait, and crickets. It is one of the most common and most frustrating problems out there. How do you actually get people to find your little corner of the internet? I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You can have the absolute best product, the most incredible articles, but if you don't have traffic, it's kind of like putting up a billboard in the middle of the desert. So today, we are going to break down this fascinating head-to-head race between two of the most popular strategies for solving this exact problem. So, in one corner, you've got link building. This is the classic art of getting other high-quality websites to link back to your site, which basically tells search engines like Google, hey, this site is legit, it's a trusted authority. And in the other corner, you have social sharing. This is all about creating that viral content, the stuff people can't help but share across Facebook, X, and all the others, hoping for that massive, immediate wave of exposure. So, which one actually works better? Well, a couple of researchers, Sonia Zhang and Neil Kabaj, they decided to find out for real. Not with opinions, not with guesses, but with a real-world 18-month experiment. They literally set up a controlled race to see which strategy would actually come out on top. So let's meet our 3 contestants.
First up, we've got Site A, which focused entirely on a proactive link building strategy. Then you've got Site B, and it went all in on social sharing. And finally, there's Site C, our control group, which had the same great content but got zero extra promotional push. Now, to make this a fair fight, the budget was absolutely key. So both Site A and Site B were given the exact same investment, $2,500 for their campaigns. Site C, our control, got nothing. This whole setup ensures we're comparing apples to apples here. And that fairness, it didn't stop with the money. All three sites were basically identical. I mean, they were built on the same framework, had about the same amount of content, the same ad setup. They even started with similar traffic levels. So the really crucial point here is that the only big difference was the strategy itself. The race was on. Okay, so the starting gun fires, the experiment kicks off, and right out of the gate, there was a huge surprise. One of these strategies didn't just take the lead, it completely left the others in the dust. And this chart just shows it perfectly. I mean, look at this. In just the first 2 months, Site B, that's our social sharing site, saw this absolutely massive spike in traffic. We're talking over 500% more visits than the link building site. At this point in the race, it really looks like a total blowout. Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. The researchers, they dug into the data and they found something really specific. That huge spike, it wasn't steady growth at all. It was almost entirely because of one single article that went viral on a social platform called StumbleUpon. That one piece of content drove almost 2,000 visits in just 5 days. It was a huge, but as it turns out, very temporary burst of attention. And this, right here, is where the story gets really, really interesting. A quick victory is awesome, don't get me wrong, but what about sustained success? What happens when all that initial hype just dies down and the race turns from a sprint into a marathon? So let's fast forward to the finish line. Let's see how this all played out over the full 18 months of the study. This is where we find out who the real champion of traffic really is. And there it is. The tortoise beats the hare. Over the long haul, Site A, our slow and steady link building site, it just gradually built momentum. It overtook the social sharing site, and it ended the race with the most total traffic. So if we look at the final breakdown, Site A ended up capturing 46% of the total traffic, and that's compared to 41% for Site B. The control site, Site C, was way behind with just 13%. So yeah, link building won, but the race looks pretty close, doesn't it? A 14% win. After 18 months, you might be thinking, that's not that big of a victory. But here's the twist. Traffic is only half the story. The real difference here wasn't about the number of visitors. It was about how valuable those visitors were. Now check this out. When we switch over and look at ad revenue, the actual money each site made, the race wasn't even close. Site A, the link building site, brought in a commanding 54% of the total revenue. Meanwhile, Site B was left way behind with only 32%. That is a massive, massive difference. And this is the key takeaway of the whole thing. Link building didn't just bring more visitors, it brought better visitors. Think about it. With only 14% more traffic, Site A generated a staggering 69% more revenue. Turns out visitors from search engines were just way more engaged and profitable than that fleeting traffic you get from social media. And the benefits didn't even stop at revenue. Link building also built a much stronger long-term asset. Site A finished the race with a higher domain authority. That's a key score for search engine trust, which positioned it for even better success long after this race was over. So, what can we all take away from this incredible race? I mean, what does this actually mean for your website and for your strategy for getting noticed? Well, the study pretty clearly shows that social sharing is a sprint. It's a fantastic strategy if you want to generate a quick, massive, but often temporary burst of attention. It's perfect for something like a product launch, a special event, or some time-sensitive announcement. Link building, on the other hand, is a marathon. It's a slower, more deliberate strategy that kind of builds on itself over time, but the result is sustained growth, higher authority, and, most importantly, more valuable revenue-generating traffic. The researchers themselves, they summed it up perfectly. They found that, both the strategies work. Social media is great for quickly building traffic. But, they say, link building provides a much better return on investment in the long run. So it's not really about one being good and the other bad, it's about understanding what each tool is best used for. And that really just leaves us with the final question to think about for our own projects. Are you playing the short game or are you playing the long game? Is your strategy built for a sprint or is it built for the marathon?
I think of the results, honestly, I was impressed. It got all the facts and numbers correct. It organized the paper perfectly. First covering the experiment setup, then the quick start surprise, and finally the marathon winner. So, more importantly, it made the paper sound engaging. It asked questions, answering them, and really captured the essence of the research. Now, I do have a couple of critiques of the video. The cover of the video image feel a little bit childish, right? There's a turtle and rabbit. I get it. It's a racing. They made the title The Great SEO Race, but it didn't quite match the academic tone or like professional. Also, the video didn't take advantage of the many charts, graphs, and screenshots from my original paper. If I were making it myself, I would definitely include those. But overall, I'm very happy with the experience. So my takeaway is this: NotebookLM is a fantastic tool for scholars, researchers, and students. So if you want to share your research in a more engaging way, or if you want to understand someone else's paper much faster, this tool really delivers. So what's great is that it doesn't compromise accuracy, and we can make sure our research don't just publish and perish, but actually gets shared and understood by a wider audience. So that's it for today's video.